With a couple key injuries for the Washington Wizards, we've seen some of the young guys like Will Riley and Jamir Watkins step up in a big way. But what happens when Corey Kispert, Alex Sarr, Bilal, and all the others come back? We're going to answer that question today, and we've got an old friend of the podcast to do so.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
DC family, you are locked on to the Washington Wizards, where you're part of our family. We thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Alongside the DC Sports content creating savant Abdullah Ayubi, I'm Ben Strober, and I cover the Washington Wizards for Roundtable IO. And a very special welcome back to our friend of the program, the real Ed Oliver. I know a lot of you listening, a lot of you watching will remember him, an OG host of the Locked On Wizards podcast. He is back for a special edition of the pod today. Ed, welcome back, my friend. How's it feel to be back where you were for quite a couple of years?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Man, it's great, man. I enjoy doing this. A lot of ups and downs with this team, and no, it's great to have me on, guys. I appreciate you guys doing an awesome job, by the way. You guys are doing an awesome job.
I appreciate that, man. We owe a lot of gratitude to you, D, B, Scott, everyone that helped grow the channel to what it is today. We're just trying to live up to the billing that you guys set for us over the years, so we really appreciate everything you've done. We've got a lot to get to in this episode. It's been kind of a wild start to the year for the Washington Wizards. I know you keep up with it well. You're busy doing your Commanders content as well. Everybody can check out Ed's content on YouTube as well. He posts often about the Commanders. Just be sure to go check out some of his stuff. He still does some Wizard stuff as well. Ed, I just wanted to get your initial thoughts on this young nucleus of Wizards players that have stepped up in the last 2 weeks or so due to injuries. Will Riley and Jamir Watkins. What's impressed you about those two so far?
You gotta love Jamir's tenacity on defense, man. He's a guy that will pick up full court. He's our most defensive-minded guy on the team, and that's what he was brought here for. I know he went to VCU, and that was kind of his mindset coming out, and then he just became a better scorer. I believe he went to Florida State as well. So his offensive game, blossomed in his last couple of years in college. But yeah, that's what he's here to do. He just brings the energy. He's super athletic, uber athletic, and he was a kind of an older guy coming out. Was like 22 years old, something like that. So I really love his tenacity. Will Riley is a guy that was just in the G League, man, just putting up like 30 balls, 25, just elite score, and he's still growing. Like, that's the scary part about Will Riley. I believe he was like sixth man of the year coming out too, or something like that, his freshman season. So I mean, this guy's he's only going to get better. So for him to come in and play with confidence like that, coming from the G League, he's doing a great job already. Bub Carrington has done a great. He's been up and down, but this Pacers game, man, they really surprised me, because the last time they played the Pacers, they lost. They got blown out. So I was pleasantly surprised. And other guys like Marvin Bagley, he's kind of teetering. He's not a young guy, but the way he's been playing is great. Justin Champagnie's been playing really well. Trey Johnson coming back from injury. I saw he hit 3 threes yesterday. So he's been playing great. Will Riley 4 for 7 from the field, plus 14. Trey Johnson plus 9. So all the young Bub Carrington plus 12. All the young guys really contributed. Keyshawn George plus 13. Didn't shoot the ball well yesterday, but he had a really good game against the Pacers too. So Keyshawn has been one of my favorite guys this year. I mean, ever since I saw him put up the double against the Mavericks, where we beat the Mavericks with Cooper Flagg, he looked like Keyshawn George was the best player on the floor that night. So he's been a pleasant surprise, man. Alex Sarr has been in and out of the lineup, but he's gotten better with each game. He looks like he's playing with more physicality. He's playing stronger. So I love that from those guys. And Trey Johnson can shoot the leather off the ball. So I really like the young nucleus that we have. So we got some young guys that have a lot of potential, man, and they're just putting it together. I would group Cam Whitmore with the young guys too. He's still a young guy trying to find his way. He's super talented, man. So I really hope he can figure it out here. I mean, maybe we'll talk about him a little bit more later.
And I want to tell you, Cam Whitmore is a sensitive topic on this channel. Just want to let you know. He's quite the fan club.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it, man. He's from Baltimore. He's from the Maryland area, so I'm rooting for the young guy, man. He's a good player too. But and Champagny, man, like he has a role on this team and a role in this league, man, where he can play for like 10 years. Like he just had a double double, and that guy can really jump out the gym, man. He had another dunk on it was either Pascal yesterday or Matherin. He dunked on somebody from the Pacers on a fast break. So that guy can board, man. Like he is so athletic. Like he has the quick leaping ability, like just to get the ball off the rim and go right back up. So I really like Champagny. I like Bagley. I like a lot of the young guys that we have. Just want to see Alex Sarr get back on the floor and can I think there's a space for Cam Whitmore to get involved, man. I don't think he has to have a DMP, man. I don't think he has to sit the whole game. I think there's a role for him on this team too.
Going back to the Indiana game, which was more impressive without Alex Sarr and Bilal Coulibaly, your top defenders, and only giving up 89 points. Last time that was the thing for the Wizards, only giving up sub 90 was 2021, which to me is just absurd. Let me ask you this, Ed. When it comes to the rotation, once Corey Kispert comes back, because he was hooping before he went out with an injury, Alex Sarr, Bilal Coulibaly, what do you think this lineup will look like with the emergence of Will Riley and Jamir Watkins? Because we go back to what Will Dawkins was saying going into the season, where minutes will be earned, not given. How do you think Coach Brian Keefe is going to balance that?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So Middleton didn't play. He was a DM or probably a rest day with the knee contusion. Cam Whitmore DNP. Sarr's been out, but when Bilal does come back, you're looking at the starting five. I guess without Alex Sarr, Bagley has to start. He's the only big we have. Vucevic had a nice play too. I didn't bring him up. He had a Euro step where he went coast to coast. That was a really nice play for him. So even he's showing some potential here and there too. There McCollum has to start too. So you're still kind of showcasing him, and he's had some good moments where he had the 40 ball and hit like 10 threes. So for me, Keyshawn is a must start. CJ is just going to have to start by default. Middleton's going to start too. Brian Keefe's going to start him. So that's Keyshawn, CJ, Middleton. That's your three starters. Bagley's the fourth starter, and then Bub would probably be your fifth starter. Will Riley's coming off the bench. Will Riley does a good job of coming off the bench. He came off the bench in college and was cooking. And then Vucevic and the other guys. But when Sarr comes back, obviously Sarr will come back and start. Bagley will come off the bench. So that would most likely be the lineup there. So that's how I kind of see the rotation. But all the guys deserve at least 20 minutes. Like Bub had 36 minutes last night. Keyshawn had 36. Keyshawn, I think he's a guy that could be if he can play like he did in the beginning of the season consistently, I think he can be a huge piece of this roster moving forward, which I think he will be. And then Jamir's got to play too. So Jamir, we don't have a lot of defensive-minded guys on the roster, so he has to get at least 15, 20 minutes a game. So a lot of guys, it's going to be we can run 10, 11 deep. Not a lot of teams can say that. I know we're not winning a lot of games, but I think when we start getting more competitive next year, we're definitely going to have a 11-man rotation where everybody can come in and contribute and play big minutes. And we're starting to get more athletic too. I like that a lot too. And then Corey Kispert is not there yet, coming back from injury. He's a good shooter, spacing the floor. So it's like you can see the vision here where we're getting guys who can space the floor. We're getting some athletes, some guys who can really run the floor too. So, it's a lot of guys fighting for minutes, man. There's a lot of guys fighting for minutes right now. So I will say that for sure.
It's a good thing to have because you wanted this organization to be about competition. The first 5 or 6 weeks of the season, it didn't really seem like that whole meritocracy thing was playing out. But genuinely now you're going to have like 10 to 11 guys, as you said, competing for minutes, which you want to see for a team that has 12 players under 24 years old. That's what it's all about. You got to weed out who's going to rise to the occasion, who should be within this organization still 2 years down the road, and hopefully you're competing. So this is going to be a big test for Brian Keefe to see how he handles this, because if Will Riley and Jamir Watkins come out of the rotation right now, I think it's malpractice. I don't think it would make any sense to have those guys not playing minutes whatsoever, even though you are going to get some of these guys back at some point who can help you out. Real quick, before we go to break, I just want to get your thoughts on the veteran players, CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton. Do you feel like we should see less of them? I know McCollum has definitely had his moments, and he's made a case for his name to be trade bait potentially at the deadline. Middleton's had a couple of nice moments here. But with all these young guys that you said need to play 15 to 20 minutes a game, should they just sacrifice CJ and Chris to play less minutes? Because I've been kind of beating the table for that all season long. Do you think this is finally the time we see that happen?
I don't think they will. Just seeing Brian Keefe, he's loyal to the veterans. Very loyal to the veterans, and they're showcasing CJ McCollum. I think after the trade deadline, that's usually in February. Like, I've seen this so many times with this team before where they trade guys at the deadline, then we finally get to see the young guys play. Like, February or March is the time where you see – I used to call it the Johnny Davis time, where you get to see a lot of young guys play after we make the trades. But, no, they're going to stay loyal to the veterans. McCollum's going to get a lot of playing time. Middleton's going to get a lot of playing time. And those are really the only – two guys that I really see getting traded. I don't see anybody else being traded. But no, McCollum has played better as of late. I just, the game where it was the Sixers, went to overtime, should have won that game.
Oh, God, that was bad.
Middleton, it was bad, man. They were trading brick for brick, getting the shot clock. Trey Johnson was hot. I mean, the young guys, Keyshawn was hot. The young guys were playing well. I mean, it was very frustrating, but he did play. CJ McCollum has picked it up pretty lately. Lately, he's been shooting the ball better.
Yeah.
And then I keep forgetting to say Bilal too in the rotation. But yeah, the dunk that he had on Giannis was awesome. That game forced Giannis to allegedly requested. He already requested a trade. I don't know if he requested it before the season or at that time, but that's just hilarious. But no, to answer your question, we know realistic they're not gonna reduce their minutes. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's probably a fair assumption to make given the history we've seen with Keith and playing veterans. And you covered this team, and you were there for the start of the Brian Keefe era, I guess. That was around like the end of the time. I think that was the end of that season is when you stopped doing the pod, right?
Yeah, it was around the Bradley. I know we traded Brad, and then
West got fired, and okay. That makes sense. It's a lot of trauma the past couple of years, but we move forward. All right, when we come back, we'll continue our conversation here with Ed Oliver. Sundays move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. I said it so many times, guys. 15-point lead for the Wizards going into the fourth quarter. That's probably when you should be live betting on the other team because we like to tank those games away. But we didn't the other day. That was nice. We didn't yesterday. Live spreads and money line adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more, and it keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
I was also going to say, speaking of, since Ed covered the team after the Bradley Beal trade, did you guys see, for 3 consecutive seasons, we started off 3-20? I mean, I actually think that's more impressive than three-peating in the NBA. It's just hilarious. But going back to the vets, Ed, do you think CJ McCollum right now could net you a first-round pick? And if so, what teams do you see potentially going after him?
I don't know if he gets you a first. I got to look. I don't know if he gets you a first right now, only because when you watch him play, you can see – and he's never been like an explosive speed guy. I mean, maybe he can get you a late first if a team is really kind of like desperate for like shooting and ball handling. Potentially, like I'm trying to even think of some teams that would even be interested in him. We haven't heard any rumors. I know the rumor that I know you guys had the whole Sabonis rumor. I don't know how truthful that is. We'll see if that happens, but just thinking, I think you kind of get something like. I'm trying to think when we traded Spencer Dinwiddie, what we got for him. It was kind of like some second-round picks, something like that. I know even when we traded Rui, it was a bunch of second-round picks. I know CJ McCollum probably has more value than Rui. You can kind of debate whatever, but I know Denny, we got 2 firsts for him, but Denny's like what, 10 years younger than CJ McCollum at this point.
The Rui trade was so trash, dude. It was a second and Kendrick Nunn.
Oh my goodness gracious! Wow.
And how many games did Kendrick Nunn play for DC?
He's not even in the NBA. He wasn't in the following year. He didn't even make it back to the NBA.
You'd probably remember this, I guess, because you were covering the team at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? So they traded him, and then Rui scored like 26 in Game 1 of the NBA playoffs for the Lakers against Memphis, and then Tommy Shepard instantly got fired. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. Rui went crazy, and I guess like Ted saw the return we got, and he's like, "Nah, you're done." And they can't Shepard that day.
Right.
Honestly, just to move the conversation forward away from the current group of Wizards, I just wanted to get your perspective from that time where this organization finally took this approach to go through a full rebuild. How surprising was it at the time to see them actually orchestrate it, and what's the perspective like for you now, seeing this thing almost 3 years in here?
Yeah, no, Ted is, he doesn't believe, well, he didn't at the time. He didn't believe in, bottoming out or tanking, but, Will Dawkins and company have come in and they told him, like, hey, like, this team's going nowhere fast. So the only way to get out of this, we don't get free agents, we don't get big time guys via trade. It just doesn't happen here. We got guys who have grown up in DC or Maryland, Kevin Durant, knock on wood, not knock on wood, but Kevin Durant cough, who wouldn't even sit down and have a meeting with us. This is when we were a good team with John Wall. So, this is it just tells you that nobody wants to come to DC and play basketball for whatever reason. We only got Gilbert Arenas because of a coin flip in free agency. So it's not even like he really needed to come here. He did a coin flip to come here. But to answer your question, it was a change of heart from Ted. And you look at analytics, you look at forward thinking, and that's the only way we can get out of this. This is a big year. I know Adam Silver doesn't like us. He doesn't want us to get the top pick of the draft. That's very well known. But AJ from BYU would be lovely. That would be great. Peterson from Kansas, Boozer from Duke, any of those guys would be very, very helpful for this roster. But I think Ted realized, like, hey, like, the only way we can get out of this is by trading Bradley Beal, moving on from these big time contracts, and tearing it down to the sides. You look at what OKC did, and that's basically the model that we're looking forward to, where they tore it down to the studs and they just had a bunch of picks, because we got a bunch of picks this upcoming draft.
And it's crazy because they might actually get a top 3 pick, Ed. Like, they could win the championship again and land Cameron Boozer. That is just absurd to think about. I always talk about on this podcast, Ben, when it comes to Ted Leonsis, owner of the Capitals and Wizards, Ovechkin's eventually going to retire. And as a businessman, he knows that he can't have 2 rebuilding teams in the same building. So I think next year he's going to be telling Will Dawkins' this organization, like, we got to see some progress. I don't want to see empty seats, because every time we go to Capital One, and it's kind of like Commanders games. It's a lot of away fans. You see a lot of Boston fans, Cavs fans just cheering, and rightfully so. The team that's traveling all the way out there, they're a good team playing this Wizards squad. So we want to go back to those glory days with John Wall, with Bradley Beal, Game 6 shot, and it's going to take some time. And let me ask you this. When it comes to the pure point guard position here in D.C., do you think a guy like Darren Peterson could solve those problems for you if you land a top 3 pick, or do you think there could still find someone on this roster that could play that point guard role?
So the person who really on the roster is Bub at times, but he's a combo guard. And nowadays there's really not a lot of natural point guards. Everybody's more of a combo scoring guard and not a pass first guy like your old school Chris Paul kind of point guard. But I do believe that Keyshawn George can definitely take over games and handle the ball and bring the ball up and orchestrate an offense. Like, I definitely think he's capable of doing that. Bub has been up and down this year, like a little erratic, but I think he's starting to get back to what he was last year in the beginning or like the middle of the season. But I think Darren Peterson's capable of doing it too. Once again, he's a combo guard. So that's something that we do need. There's a couple of needs, of course, on this roster, but I do think that Keyshawn can be that lead guard, that lead ball handler at times for sure. And then, we can sprinkle in Darren Peterson and see what happens. But I think, when it comes down to clutch times, I think for this team, it's best to have the ball in Keyshawn George's hands in clutch time. I think there's some times where he really is the best player on the floor. And I think at times it's really between him and Sarr, who have the highest ceiling on the roster right now. But I think there's times where I look at Keyshawn's game and just overall where his ceiling is super, super high. So I would like to see Keyshawn George had more ball handling opportunities to finish the year off for sure.
I want to take our second break now because we got a pretty busy upcoming week around the association. I want to talk a little more broader NBA with Ed Oliver when we come back. When Skims announced they were making underwear for men, the reaction made perfect sense. People have been talking about Skims Comfort for years. Most guys, though, stick to whatever they've been buying since college. Same fits, same waistbands that roll, and a whole lot of settling. Skims Men's changes that. One upgrade, and it's obvious why everyone's been talking. They're designed to feel good. They fit right, and they actually stay put. No slipping, no sagging, no adjusting, just genuinely great underwear that makes you feel confident and comfortable. I'm wearing them right now. They're my favorite pair. My favorite pair is the Stretch 5 boxer briefs, the ones I'm wearing right now. And what stands out to me is the way they fit. The fabric, it's soft, supportive, and comfortable all day. They don't ride up, they don't lose their shape, and they hit exactly where they're supposed to on the thigh. Whether you're working, traveling, working out, or just hanging out at home, these feel better than anything you've ever used before. Honestly, didn't expect underwear to be a game changer, but Skims completely surprised me. Shop Skims Men's now at skims.com, and when you place your order, choose podcast in the post-purchase survey and select our show from the drop-down menu to let you know that we sent you. Plus, the SKIMS Holiday Shop is open, so if you're looking for the perfect gift this season, SKIMS has you covered. The holidays always show up faster than we expect, and if you're still putting together gifts, last-minute decor, and getting your home ready for guests, Wayfair has you covered. Whether you need a quick room refresh, new bedding, or those final seasonal touches, Wayfair makes it easy to get what you need fast. Wayfair truly is your one-stop shop for everything home with decor, furniture, kitchen essentials, and gifts for every style and every budget, all delivered quickly and easily. Their selection is huge. Bedding, decor, kitchen gear, kids' room updates. I was able to find everything all in one place. It's so easy to shop by style. It helps you pick pieces that actually fit your home instead. The Wayfair items you order will instantly refresh your space without a big project. It is perfect for gifting, too. They have guides, tons of options, and something for everyone on any budget. Get last-minute hosting essentials, gifts for all your loved ones, and decor to celebrate the holidays for way less. Head to Wayfair.com right now and shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
I think you mentioned, Ben, we got to talk about this NBA Cup tournament, Ed. I mean, tomorrow, it was funny before we showed up. Ben didn't even know the Knicks were playing. We knew the Spurs were playing because the Thunder beat them and ended the win streak. So let me ask you this, Ed, this whole in-season tournament, are you a fan of it? Do you hate it or you just don't care?
So I get it. Adam, so he's grasping for straws, man. He's desperate. You know, whenever you're trying to change things and mix things up, like you're really desperate. Like I like it to a point where like it makes teams more competitive, especially in this lull of the season. This is like what the dog days of the season where, you know, you can already tell which teams are not going to make the playoffs already, just like us and, you know, the Jazz and the Pacers and teams like that. So it does give guys a little bit more incentive to play for and maybe not rest, maybe try to play through those games. It's just more competitive. Like the Spurs Thunder game was very competitive. That was entertaining to see Wemby come back and see them beat the Thunder. That was a good competitive game. The Knicks Orlando game, I thought it was competitive too. I mean, Brunson went for 39, 40 points. So I get what he's trying to do. He's changing the All-Star game. The All-Star game was really bad last year, and it's probably going to get even worse. But the NBA Cup, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch much of it. I didn't watch much of it. But like I said, I get what Adam's trying to do. I get what he's trying to do. And he said some weird things. Like he said the NBA is like a highlight league now or something like that. We want people to watch highlights and stuff like that. So man, yeah. So I get it. I get what he's trying to do. He's grasping. The views have gone down for the league. They've been up and down.
It's tough because you're competing against the NFL, but
right, yeah. Because the Wizards played at 3 yesterday, and I didn't know they were playing at 3.
I told Ben the same thing. I was watching the Commanders game, and I'm like, oh shoot, the Wizards are on.
I had the dual screen situation set up. I was watching the second half of that Commanders game, which was frustrating because they tried to blow the game, but it's whatever. I wasn't that pressed about it. And then once that one ended, I just shut it off right away, and I was like, all right, let's lock fully in
Right.
on
And
the
the
Wizards
history
here.
with the Wizards and Commanders one on the same day hasn't happened since like a couple of years ago, something like that.
Yeah, it was funny to see that. It was like over 1,000 days of something like that. One thing I want to talk about, because you mentioned Adam says it's a highlight league now. One guy whose highlights I find very entertaining to watch, and I just love watching him play. He's in the NBA Cup final. It's pretty obvious who I'm talking about, Victor Wembanyama. The Wizards are going to face him twice, so to keep that conversation local here to our podcast. Are you excited to see Wemby play against this Wizards team? And if you don't have Sarr out there, how bad do you think it could be for this
Or
defense?
Bilal.
Well, it was rough with Sarr out there. I think Wemby.
Yeah.
No, I think Wemby got his career high last year against Sarr, and they're
50 plus.
they're two French guys, so they're very familiar with themselves. Sarr had a good game that game last year too, but he can definitely have 25 in the first half, end up with 49, 50 points. Like one of those games, it definitely will happen. So it's gonna be fun to watch. Champagny, his twin brother, is still on the Spurs, right? So that will be a fun matchup. Champagne's brother gets a lot of playing time for the Spurs too. They're both very impactful players for their team, so that'll be fun to watch. But I think the Wizards will be competitive in at least one of those games. But Wemby's going to dominate, man. He's going to have a double-double, 30, no less than 30 for Wemby against the Wizards.
It's going to be tough because no Alex Sarr. I mean, Vooch, as much as we love his offensive game defensively, at times can be a liability, and no one in the NBA can guard Victor Wembanyama. So maybe you send in Marvin Bagley and send a double team, but maybe he'll find the open shooter. When it comes to this Wizards squad moving forward, Bilal Coulibaly, year 3, we talk about him taking the offensive jump. Contract extension talks are coming soon, but the injuries have plagued him. How do you view his season so far? Because it's been very up and down.
Yeah, it has, and it's similar to Jaden Daniels, where he's been in and out of the lineup. He wasn't able to start the season off, and then if you look at the Olympics, not the Olympics, but FIBA with France, he was up and down in that too, where he struggled shooting the ball. So that is one of his improvement areas. Definitely is shooting. He wasn't the best shooter coming out of France, where he played on the same team with Wemby overseas. And he may never be a great shooter, but the guy plays with a lot of energy. He plays above the rim. He's an athlete. Dunked on Giannis. Can defend. If we want him to defend full court. That's one of the things that he does well. But he is coming up on. I'm trying to remember if he has the option this year. If they picked up his option or this offseason again, they have the option on his contract. But new guys coming in, you got to make a decision on him too, because you have so many young guys, and then you have another couple of draft picks coming in, whether it's AJ or whoever we draft. You're gonna have to make a decision soon, kind of like how it was with Rui and Denny. Like you couldn't keep. It was hard to keep all your picks. It was hard you had to make a decision on some of the guys who you're going to move forward with, and when you draft another person, you got to you just got to move on with some people. So, but I do like Bilal. I think he's a good player. I think he's a legitimate starter in this league, and a good defender, good passer, good rebounder, all that stuff. But he's got to be on the floor. He's got to be healthy.
Absolutely, hit it on the head with that, Ed. Real quick before we get you out of here, who on this roster is first to make an all-star team, if anybody?
I would say Alex Sarr, man. He's had some really good games. And it looks like he's starting to really figure it out. I love the way he's played. Of course, like when he first came in the league, it took him a little while. It's just normal for rookies, and the whole summer league thing where he went like 0 for 10 in the summer league. Got a lot of scrutiny for that. So I think it would be Alex Sarr. I mean, the guy can shoot the three, put the ball on the floor, and heck of a shot blocker too, man. He's like really holding it down because, we definitely let a lot of guards get into the paint, and he's the last resort. We don't have another really big like him that can defend the rim. So, I mean, he's been huge. And on a side note, like I said, Cam Whitmore, I do want to see him get another opportunity, man. I really do. And I know you guys say he's got some stands. Yeah. I just want to see the guy, get another opportunity. He's got to earn it too. So I hate some of the rumors that are coming out about him. I don't know what's true or not, but I guess where there's smoke, there's fire. But he's definitely going to earn it. So because you got guys like Will Riley right now who are taking the bull by the horns on his minutes. But like to get back to the All-Star, I'm going with Alex Sarr. I think Keyshawn is very close though. Keyshawn's very close.
I think either one would be a pretty good choice, but Sarr would definitely be my pick as well, and I think Abdullah would be in agreement about that. Out of time here today on Locked On Wizards, but Ed, we appreciate you coming on. It's a lot of fun. I know this is kind of you coming back to your roots. Now you're off doing your own thing. Ed Oliver on YouTube, just search him up. He'll come up right away at Ed Oliver Skins. He's got 21.2 thousand subscribers talking all things DC sports. A lot of Commanders content, so if you're into teams that are losing right now in the DMV, Ed will tell you what's going on, because there's a lot of losing going on in this city these days, but we're all trying to make it through. And Ed, we appreciate you for coming back on the podcast for the night here, man.
Thanks, fellas. You guys are doing a heck of a job.
No problem, man. We appreciate it. It's all thanks to what you and the others did before us, so we owe a lot of the gratitude to you. That'll do it for us today here on the Locked On Wizards podcast. We thank everybody for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. For your second, check out the Locked On NBA Fantasy Basketball podcast hosted by Josh Lloyd to get your fantasy lineup right. For our guest today, Ed Oliver, for my co-host Abdullah Ayubi, I'm Ben Strober, DC Family. Talk to you tomorrow.